All right, let's do it. This is question 6, investigative task part B of the 2015 test. So let's keep going. I wrote a little summary of what's happening on the front so I don't have to flip back and forth. We just got done talking. Method 1, they picked from all. Method 2, they flipped a coin and picked from only one of the production lines. Now, the figure below shows a histogram of 200 diameters obtained using one of the two sample methods. Describe, consider the shape of this histogram, and explain which method, 1 or 2. So it seems pretty obvious if they flipped a coin, they'd either get real small ones, right? So because a sampling distribution should match the population distribution with the same mean, but a different standard deviation because a sampling distribution has a standard deviation divided by the square root of n. So we know that a sampling distribution should start getting skinny when n goes up, but still, from our formula sheet, we know mu should be equal to mu of x bar, and we know that the standard deviation of the statistic should not be the same. It should actually get smaller. So when I look at this, it looks like I'm using two different means here, right? Do you see this? This would be called bimodal. Two tops, two peaks. So it seems pretty obvious they didn't flip the coin. This would be if they chose method 2, or this would be if they chose method 2. So they obviously picked from all. So I need to circle method 1, and then of course I have to explain, which means I have to use the word because. So I'm going to go and do that. Part B, method 1 was most likely used to select this sample because what I just said. So let's write that all out. The bimodal shape indicates both production lines, A and B, were used in the sampling method. Production line A likely would give you a peak centered at, what did we say, 5.9? And production line B would likely give you a peak centered at 6.1. And that's exactly what we got. We got what we expected in this picture, and so it's definitely method 1. Now let's keep going. C asks, which of the two sampling methods, 1 or 2, would result in less variability in the diameters of these 200 tortillas? So again, I kind of have to go back, even though I don't want to. Sampling method 1 is going to kind of look like that, only probably skinnier. Or excuse me, sampling method 2 is going to either look like that, only skinnier, because you're only picking B, or you're only picking A. So method 2, we know what method 1, or excuse me, I keep flipping these. We know what method 1 looks like because it looks 2 peaks, right? So method 2 would likely either look like this or like that. And it should be pretty obvious which one ended up getting picked. We're not going to have to guess unless you didn't really make n a very large number. So going back to C, let's answer this question. It says, which method would result in less variability? It seems pretty obvious that method 2 would result, just copying the question as they asked, in less variability in the 200 tortilla samples because they told me to explain. The samples would only come from one production line. So we would expect a range from 6.1 to 5.7 if they came from A, and we'd expect a range of 6.3 to 5.9 if they came from B. I'm going to go ahead and stop it here and try to put D, E, and F all on the same video. So stay tuned.